Hi everyone, welcome to Samantha Clift Pilates. I'm Sam and today we're going to be doing a full body workout, working all of the muscles and warming them up all nicely. It's strengthening and toning. So I really hope you enjoy the video. Let's get started. So we're going to start sitting down today and we're going to warm up through the shoulders and the neck, thinking about posture and thinking about your back and your abdominal muscles, all of the muscles that we need to create strength in your core. And so we're going to think about the Pilates posture to begin with. So sitting however you feel comfortable, if you want to cross your legs, if you want to have them a little bit open, if you want to have them forward, completely up to you. But what we're going to try and do is sit nice and straight and as upright as you can, because a lot of the time we tend to slouch. This puts pressure on our lower back, puts pressure through our shoulders. And so the most important thing really is to try to think about your posture. And even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable to begin with, it's all part of kind of the recorrection. We have muscle memory, and so those muscles will then try to make you go back into that kind of slouchy position. But what we want to do is reverse that. So it's going to take a little bit of time. It might be a bit uncomfortable to begin with. You might feel a little bit of buzzing through the muscles, but that's completely normal and that will get better as time goes on. So we're aiming to sit up tall as you can and as straight as you can. And you might find that you feel a little bit of warmth, a bit of buzzing, a bit of pressure through your lower back, but that's absolutely fine. If there's any pain or it's really uncomfortable, then you can get a cushion to sit on and just kind of lift your bottom up slightly. But we're aiming to sit up tall, so imagine you've got a ruler down your back, something is pulling up through the top of the head, just flat up so we're not looking up and we're not kind of pulling up through the neck, trying to keep as straight as we can. The camera angle might be a bit awkward. Keeping those shoulders down as much as you can, so creating that stretch through the trapezius muscle. Relaxing through the shoulders. Now when we sit up tall, we tend to find that we're starting to engage the abdominal muscles, which is what we want. So these muscles are starting to fire. You're going to get a little bit of heat through the abdominals. So what we're going to do now is just stretch the neck, looking behind your shoulder and to the other side. You might find that there's a little bit of stiffness, a bit of popping and clicking. Definitely is for me. So stretching those muscles, and then we're going to sweep down towards the belly button, stretching the muscles of the back of the neck. And this time we're going to look up slightly, and again sweeping, looking behind the shoulder and looking up slightly. Keeping those shoulders down if you can, keeping them nice and relaxed, not slouching, just keeping the back nice and straight. And then we're going to do a different articulation through the neck. So imagine that you're drawing with your nose now, just small circles, nice and gently, and then making them a little bit bigger. Looking up towards the ceiling, down towards the tummy button, and then reversing. If there's any sticking, you can just nod your head in that position. So big to begin with. And then gradually making them smaller. So we've worked the neck in lots of different directions, making them gradually smaller. Okay, we're going to take the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together and then bringing them forward, so rotating. Really lifting them up, really squeezing them, so you're starting to open out through your chest. And then we're going to reverse that. Bit of grinding, popping and clicking. That's completely normal. We're going to be working those knots and the kind of gas that's trapped, the little bubbles, little pockets. They're all going to be popping and escaping, which is good. You're going to take the shoulders up around the ears, going to squeeze them down and then release, lifting and releasing. You're really going to feel the difference between having them up around the ears and really stretching them down, really stretching through your traps. Really important to get that length. We're going to take the head to the side. We're just going to place the hand on the head and the other hand down by your side. Again, increasing that stretch through the trapezius. And just not pushing down with your hand, but just resting it on your head. A little bit of extra weight. Lovely. And just giving your neck a bit of time to relax. Sometimes you feel a little bit of fight. It takes about 10 seconds just for the muscle to realise that you're wanting to stretch and not going into that stress response. Okay, and to the other side, again, just weight of the hand on your head, other hand down onto the floor to get that nice stretch. Again, just nice deep breaths, relaxing into the stretch. Okay, head back to the centre. We're going to take the arms up above the head. You're going to lose my hands and then slowly coming down. So starting to articulate through the shoulders, up, still sitting tall, not slouching down. And then we're going to take them up to chest height and take the arms out. Opening out the chest again, squeezing those shoulder blades together, back to the centre and down and again. Out to the side, back to the centre, down and again. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to take the hands behind the body now and we're just going to interlock the fingers and really pull those shoulder blades back and together, opening out your chest. And then we're going to do the opposite and bring the arms forward, interlocking the fingers and hugging the imaginary ball. So this time we're going to really round the shoulders. You're going to stretch all the way up through your upper spine. You might feel a stretch through your lower back as well. So you're hugging an imaginary ball. So you're squeezing, imagine you've got a beach ball in between, in this gap here, and you're just pulling it in and really rounding the shoulders. So, you know, stretching yourself over the ball, really great for your back, your shoulders, your upper spine. Brilliant. Okay, warmed up the shoulders. We're going to start with the abdominals now. So lying down on your back. So you're going to have your feet flat on the floor, hands down both sides. This time we're going to be thinking about the Pilates posture on the mat. So we want a couple of fingers under the lower section of your back. So you might need to adjust your bottom slightly. We want your pelvis nice and straight, so that's in neutral spine it's called. So you're taking into account the natural curve of your spine. You're not able to fit a whole arm underneath because you're arching your back and you're not tipping the pelvis to push your back into the mat. So it's in the centre, in the middle, neutral spine. So you're going to take the hands up to your head. We're going to take the thumbs down the back of the neck and cradle the hands, and we're going to lift. And we're going to slowly come down. So we're starting to warm up through the abs, lifting, these muscles really starting to engage. This is just important to think about your neck. We're not lifting your head up, we're just supporting the head. Got that nice gap between your chin and chest, slowly coming down. We're also going to be warming up through your upper back as well, which is great. Doesn't tend to get a lot of movement. You need to really think about articulating the spine, lifting, lowering. So starting to feel those upper abdominals starting to warm up. So you're really squeezing them. With these, you tend to find that people want to just swing themselves up and crunch the whole of the abdominals, but actually these small movements are really effective and you're targeting the muscle specifically. So that's always good. So lifting, we're going to do 2 more. And lowering, last one. And now we're going to add a little bit of an alternative. So you can either keep your hands behind your head, lift up, and you can take the arms over if you want. So just adding a level, staying up for a little bit longer, coming down, lifting, arms over, hands back and down, lifting, back and down. So you're breathing out, breathing in, breathing out as you come down, breathing in at the bottom, out as you lift, in as the arms come over. So using your breath to just kind of give you the pace of this exercise. It's really quite slow. It's really focusing and targeting those muscles. So feeling that through the upper abdominals, rectus abdominis, lifting. Now the muscles do co-contract with your pelvic floor, but sometimes it's nice just to focus on those pelvic floor muscles, the muscles that you use to stop yourself on the loo, mid-flow. I don't know if this is a nice way of really explaining that, but the muscles that you squeeze. So if you find that you're squeezing your pelvic floor muscles, your abdominal muscles will co-contract. But these are really good exercises to work those muscles. And down, I'm going to do 2 more. Lifting over and down. Last one. Over and down. So we're going to work the whole of the abdominals. So we're going to work into crisscross now, the obliques. So we're going to keep the feet down. We're going to lift and we're going to twist back down to the mat. Lifting, breathing out, twisting. Okay, so engaging those muscles before you twist to the side, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So there are a few different levels here. You can keep your legs down on the mat, or you can lift your legs into a double leg lift. So starting to engage your lower abs now. You're trying to keep them sort of still. They might move a little bit, and you want them at right angles, so you don't want them coming in towards your chest. You don't really want them too far away either. It's too much pressure. So imagine your shins are parallel with the ceiling. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Another level if you want to, we can bring our elbow to our knee and extend the other leg back to the centre and to the other side. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And making sure that you're coming down and resting in between. Or if you want to go up a level, we can go elbow to knee, keeping the head lifted, taking a break in between, or going from side to side without taking a break. So with this one, it's probably a good idea to work in sets. When you feel those abdominal muscles starting to scream at you, then feet down, arms above the head, even a full body stretch before you come into another set. Whatever level you want to do. Sometimes you've got more energy than others. So really bringing those knees in towards your elbow. So those muscles are firing all of the time. Of course, if you've started high and you're feeling it's too much, you can come down a level, okay, and work in between. But the great thing, the thing that you want to be doing really is just to keep moving. And you can bring the legs down to level 1 if you want to. Make sure you're breathing, getting that oxygen into the muscles as they start to fatigue. So completely up to you. Just keep moving if you can. Feeling a little bit of warmth. As a general rule, breathing out on the movement. In as you kind of relax back, breathing in as you come down, out as you lift, lifting those legs. Keep going, taking breaks in between, just listening to your body, not overdoing it, taking breaks, coming down to the mat. Going to do 2 more to each side, breathing in, breathing out. Last ones. Brilliant, feet down to the mat. And full body stretch, arms out straight. Same with the legs, really stretching those arms and legs away, flexing the toes and extending as well. Really to stretch through the abs. Take a few deep breaths, get that oxygen into the muscles. Brilliant, okay, so we've worked on the top section, the obliques, now we're going to work on the lower abs. And this is called scissors. So we're going to take the legs up to a double leg lift. This is level 1, not necessarily the easiest though. We take the leg down towards the mat, just touching the toe, making sure it's not coming towards the bottom, or you're extending the leg. We keep the knee at right angles, touching the mat like you're dipping your toe in some water, and then to the other side. So as I said, this is not necessarily the easiest. We really need to engage those abdominal muscles to protect our back. Because if you don't pull those in, then the back tends to move, you tend to kind of shift around on the mat, and that can cause damage or definitely pain through the lower back. So you really are engaging these muscles, but you're pulling your abs in to protect your back. Okay, slowly lowering down, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. So just touching the toe down. Again, there are a few different levels. So if you want to move up a level, if you want to stretch through your calves and hamstrings, then this is a good one to do. Hands down by your side, and we're going to slowly lower the leg down, starting to work the quads by keeping the legs lifted, lowering down, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, so that's a good stretch for the calves and hamstrings. Definitely going to feel it through the lower abs as well. You can also curl up, so top section of the abs engaged, holding onto the outside of the knee. This one is a bit more comfortable for a lot of people because it takes the pressure off the neck and shoulders. We're holding onto the outside of the knee, helping you to straighten that leg if those muscles are tight. And we're going to lower the leg down. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. Brilliant, really feeling that through the lower abs. Keeping the shoulders down away from your ears and making sure that you've got a gap between your chin and chest. If the neck and shoulders start to ache, you can come down a level. You can still hold on to the outside of the knee, or you can take the hands down. Feel that pressure through the legs as you take the hands down, because they're not relying on, or you're not supporting them. So it really does work the legs a lot more, which, you know, depends on how your energy is today. Could be a good thing, might not be. So going up and down through the levels, really feeling that through my quads. Really taking that leg down, making sure you're not touching the floor with that leg. We want the muscles to stay active. We don't want them to relax down. Keep going, you're doing really well. Keep going. We're going to do 2 more to each side. Last set. And last one. Brilliant, legs down. Again, full body stretch. Arms above the head, legs out straight, just letting everything relax. Really feeling that through the hips as well. That's a fantastic hip exercise, really strengthening through the hip joint. We're aiming to prevent injury in the future. That's what it's all about, really. So making sure you're taking a few deep breaths into that stretch, letting everything relax. Okay, we're going to roll onto our side now, and we're going to go into the side plank. And so there are a few different levels with this one. You can come onto the forearm with knees bent. What you're aiming to do is lift your hip high, working the obliques. You feel that through your waist, and we're going to take the arm up. Is it going to disappear? Yes. Arm up and looking at that hand, and we're going to hold, or up onto the hand. You've got tightness through the neck and shoulders. This might be a bit more comfortable. The arm is definitely going to disappear. Okay. If you want to take the arm across, then we can do that. You get more of a stretch down through the side body. Okay, so completely up to you. Or we can do onto the forearm and legs straight. So top leg comes over and, you know, is flat. So you put the foot down flat on the floor, bottom leg to the side. So we've got kind of 2 areas that we're going to be resting on, lifting that hip, arm up or across, and we're going to be holding. And the top level up onto the hand with legs straight, lifting that hip, arm up or across, whatever feels comfortable for you. So getting yourself into position, whichever level that you want to do. And we're going to, I don't think we're going to count it accurately, but I'm going to ask you to hold for a certain amount of time, because it's a weight bearing exercise, increases bone density through your legs, through your arms, which is fantastic. It's also a really good stretch. So getting into position, choosing your level, and here we go. Arm up, lifting that hip as high as you can, and keep breathing. Okay, really putting pressure through that arm, stretching through the side body if you want to. Pressure through the feet nice and evenly, lifting that hip, not letting it drop. Keep going, keep breathing. You're doing really, really well. Not an easy one, this one. Great for the wrists though. Any RSI injuries, or if your shoulders are quite weak, then fantastic to do. Possibly starting on your forearm, but you know, working up to this top level. You're doing really, really well. Keep going. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Well done. You might need to release the wrist. Oh, yes. And the shoulder. And then into the mermaid stretch. So we're stretching towards the feet, stretching these muscles. We've already stretched this side. So we're going to stretch this side too. Releasing the wrist again if you need to. You will thank me for that later. Computer work. Yes, it's all about strengthening the wrists. Preventing RSI, which is horrible. Okay, we're going to go on to the other side. Got to make sure we're even. And so again, on the forearm with knees bent. So on the forearm, legs straight, up onto the hand, knees bent, or legs straight. So choosing your level. You might find one side slightly stronger than the other, so it might depend on what you need to do. If you start and you're finding it too much, of course, come down, take a breather. Right, getting yourself into position, side foot, flat foot, and we're going to lift that hip, arm up or across, depending on what you fancy, what feels nice, where you feel that you need to stretch. And just spreading the fingers, you've got that nice even weight distribution, same with the feet. So it's nice and even, lifting that hip as high as you can, don't let it collapse down. I know as you get tired, that's what you want to do, but posture is so important. I'd rather you just come down to the mat, take a breather and come back again, rather than kind of an incorrect posture and you can start injuring muscles then. I'm actually sliding along the mat here, so keep going, keep breathing. You're doing really, really well. Fantastic, keep going. I actually feel a bit stronger on my left side, and I don't know if that's because I didn't use it as much. I can lock it and it stays, it's not as painful, I suppose, on my left. So it's interesting just to observe without judgment, just interesting. Brilliant, you're doing really well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Well done. And again, releasing the wrist. Shoulder as well, and into the mermaid stretch, stretching towards your feet, so stretching all of the side body, quite really feeling a little bit of heat, getting your heart rate going, which is great. I think it's just really important, especially now, just to keep your body moving as much as you can, even if you do 5 minutes. It's quite easy to fall into a trap of not doing it. You know, I do it myself. I think I haven't done any exercise now for a while and it's not good. So, brilliant. Right, we're going to work on our back now and our arms a little bit. We've warmed them up nicely, so it eases really well into the next position. We're going to start nice and gently. And we're going to go into cat-cow. So onto the hands and knees. Just making sure we've got a nice stable base, even base, spreading the fingers. And we're going to dip the back into the cow, looking forward, bottom out, and then arching the back. Tucking your bottom in, tucking the head in, into the cat stretch. Really nice for stretching all the way down through your back. Articulating through your spine. Keeping going, keep breathing. Really lovely stretch. You might find a little bit of heat or buzzing through the arms. Mine are vibrating a little bit. I don't know if yours are. It's just a bit of muscle fatigue. They've been working hard, which is good. Keep going. So we're mobilising through your spine before we work it, work it hard. It's really important to get that movement in. Okay, one more each way, last time. And we're going to go into the leg pull. So we're just going to do level 1 for this one, starting to warm up through our lower back and our legs. So taking one leg back, second leg back, knee down, leg back, back, down, down. Also working through your glutes, which is a bonus, isn't it? Lower back, really working those glutes. And knee down, just making sure you're not lifting your bottom. We're keeping our back in alignment, so there should be a nice line from the shoulders down to the ankles, back, down. And this is also warming, really working the core and the abdominal muscles. So keeping this going. If you need to take a break, if the wrists are hurting, then please do release them, shoulders as well. But keep going if you can. Down. Doing really well, keep going. Ow. Brilliant, 2 more. And last one. And then just coming back into child's pose. Active arms, releasing the wrists if you want to. And just having the knees parallel to begin with, stretching through your lower back. So we're aiming to push our lower back down onto our heels. Keep breathing, and then we're going to widen the knees, feet together, and then come down a little bit more, stretching through your chest and taking your forehead down to the mat if that feels comfortable. And the arms are relaxing down now onto your elbows, so you're not keeping them active. Okay, so just relaxing down. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to go into the plank. Don't panic. Not going to hold it for long, but it's a fantastic exercise for the whole body. Shoulders, back, abdominals, everything. So if you wanted to tone your whole body and strengthen your body, then if you did this every day, you would notice a massive change really quickly. And it's great to kind of build up through kind of the amount of time that you do it. There's also a lot of variations to how you do it. For me, the most important thing, well, there's 2 most important things, is that you're not gripping your arms. A lot of people kind of clench their fists, and that puts pressure through your neck and shoulders, which is really not what you want. So I tend to have hands flat on the floor, fingers apart. And the second thing to watch is your back, where the position of your back is. You don't want to lift your bottom too high, and you certainly don't want your back to dip, so it's just below. I've got quite a big bottom, so it does stick out quite a long way. So it does look that I'm lifting my bottom, but what I'm trying to do is create a nice line through your back, so that's nice and straight. And we're going to hold for about 30 seconds, not very long at all. And of course, if you need to come down, then please do. There are a couple of variations, so you can have your feet down, the tops of the feet on the mat, flat on the floor, lifting your bottom, just putting a bit of pressure through the abdominals and through your back, through the shoulders as well. But the full plank position is tucking the toes underneath, and then we're going to be lifting up onto the forearms, putting even pressure through the hands and the elbows. I'd rather you stick your bottom out more than dipping your back. Okay, but what you want is a nice alignment down through the back. So we're going to be holding, breathing, don't hold your breath, keeping those shoulders down away from the ears. Looking down to the mat, not looking forward. Don't hold your breath. It's difficult to count and do this, but you're squeezing your abs in as well. Keep going, you're doing really, really well. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Keep holding. Keep going if you can. Don't know how long we've gone, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Well done. Down to the mat, taking the hands behind, just relaxing the shoulders down, releasing the wrists, and then coming back into child's pose, bottom down onto your heels, just stretch through your back, and letting your arms just relax. Oh, just hit my face down, forehead down, and just relaxing down. Again, releasing the wrists if you need to. I'm just going to do one back strengthener to finish, and we're coming down to the mat into the swan dive. So hands up, level with the chest, kind of right angles at the elbow. Imagine your head like a pea on a fork, and looking down to the mat. So level 1, we come up just a little way, breathing at the top, out as you come down. Level 2, coming up a little bit higher, breathing at the top, out as you come down. And level 3, we're going to be lifting the arms as well, and breathing at the top, out as you come down. So completely up to you which level you do, but we're just going to breathe in at the bottom, out as you lift, in at the top, out as you come down. If you're lifting your arms, just making sure that you're not squeezing your glutes, because we want to target our lower back and just work those muscles. So if your glutes are squeezing, if you're really squeezing your bottom to get you lifted, then come down a level. Keep the arms down on the mat, holding for an in-breath and down. We're not lifting the head up, okay? We're not looking forward. We're keeping a nice alignment down through your neck and shoulders, so always looking down to the mat, breathing in at the top, out as you come down, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Keep going. So lifting as high as you can. So it's mobilizing and it's also strengthening because we're holding in that position. Breathing in, breathing out. Keep going. Doing really well. We're going to do 3 more. Right, I've lost count completely. I'm concentrating on my breathing, so it just goes to show it doesn't really matter how much you do. And when you've done your last one, coming back into child's pose, starting off with the knees parallel and arms active, really stretching through your arms, and then taking the knees wide and pushing the bottom down, stretching the arms to begin with, and then relaxing them down, releasing the shoulders, and taking a few deep breaths into that stretch. Well done. You've done really, really well. So what I've tried to do with that workout is target every area. We've loosened our joints, we've worked our back, we've worked our obliques, and we've worked our abdominals, our legs, and our arms. So it's a complete full body. You could do that kind of a couple of times a week, then that would make a massive difference. But if just once a week is all you have time for, then that's going to be definitely great. It's going to start really, you'll see some improvements pretty quickly. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, it'd be great if you could like and subscribe and press that bell icon so that you're notified of future videos. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.